Embedded Controller Lab. Today we will discuss how to vary the speed of a DC motor using the internal PWM module available in your ARM controller. Previous session we had discussed how to program, how to modify the duty cycle of a PWM module present in a ARM Cortex M3 machine. So today we will apply that and we will try to control the speed of a DC motor. So this is a block diagram what we have, how the pins of a controller is connected to a motor via a motor driver. So motor driver is essential because definitely the pins which you are having controller would provide low currents, and using this low current you cannot drive possibly a motor, a stepper motor or a DC motor. So to drive a motor you definitely require more power. So for that we use a motor driver, and motor driver would use a external power supply which is a motor supply itself, and that would be used for driving a motor. And then in turn, so you provide the signal based on the signal provided by the microcontroller. The supply voltage required for your motor to trigger will be provided using this motor driver. So motor driver IC can, you can provide a maximum voltage of 9 volt to 25 volt it can take literally. But here for this you cannot afford to add that power supply. It will damage your controller. So this is your L293D motor driver pins, 16 pins you have. So this is how it is connected. So let's discuss this, then we will go back and we will see the working of this. So first we are making use of 3 pins belonging to Cortex M3, P20, P21 and P23. So P20 pin is for PWM1. We have to use pin cell 4 register. We have to configure this controller in such a way that P20 will not work as a general purpose input output pin. Rather it will function as a PWM1 channel. Similarly P23 will has to be functioned as PWM channel 4. So we will be using for this experiment two PWM channels. We are using PWM1 channel and PWM1 fourth channel. Channel 1 and channel 4 of PWM line are used here. So you have to program it, then only this pin will function as a PWM. And P21 is pin, this pin, remember this is connected to enable pin of your L293D driver. So this has to be always high. So you have to set the port while creating a configuring the ports, ensure that P21 line is functioning as general purpose input output. So this can also function as PWM2 channel, but we don't want that. We want this to function as an input output pin. Okay, so this is P21 itself, whereas this is PWM1 and this is PWM2. It's a second function. So this is given to input 1, this is given to input 2. Let's talk about this to L293D driver IC, what this will do. So in simplest scenario what I can say is, when the enable is 1, so you have you can provide two inputs here. Two input pulse could be sent, and for that you have corresponding two outputs. So input 1, this is your output 1, and for the input 2, this is your output 2. So what happens when enable is 1? When enable is 1, onto the line, and when enable is 1 and when input is 1, and this input if it's 0, okay, two inputs if we are considering, because that's what we take here. If this pin is 1 and if this pin is 0, then you are going to get a high signal onto this line, output A1, and you're going to get output A2, you're going to get a low signal. Okay, so this will be grounded, you can think, and this you will get a supply voltage. Motor supply voltage is going to get onto this line. And similarly for the other channels, two more motors you can control using this device or motor driver. You can possibly control two motors bidirectional. Two ways you can make it rotate, both direction. So to control two motors bidirectional, or else unidirectional four motors you can make it rotate. Okay, so here we will use this channel. So enable one is important line which we need to remember, and this is not used much, but for triggering this IC you have to use a IC voltage 5 volt. This is the motor supply voltage, high voltage high current, which needs to be given to the motor to drive it. So this is the supply voltage for this IC. The IC will function at a voltage of 5 volt, but it can definitely withstand more higher voltage too. Let's discuss this IC in more in detail, then we'll go back to the program. So here you have the IC internal block diagram. So this consists of four tri-state buffers. We will not talk about this because this is for the input 3 and input 4. We will discuss input 1 and input 2. So the pin 2 is input 2 and pin 7 is input pin 7 is input 2, pin 2 is input 1, and its corresponding output is output 1 and output 2. So this VSS is the motor supply to be given to the motor, and VCC is the supply to be given to the IC. Okay, so the working of this, we will not consider PWM signal directly. Let's see what happens if you provide a pulse high and low signal onto this line. Suppose if IN1 is 1, here we are providing high pulse, high, and here if we provide 0, if this is 1, if this is 0, then this tri-state buffer, what it does, it passes the data from this point to this point, provided if the enable is 1. If the enable is 1, then whatever data you have here will get collected at this point. So if this is 1, you're going to get 1 here. Similarly, here we took the possibility that here it was 0, so same 0 signal will get it here. So here you have 1 and here you have 0. So you have two diodes connected in this fashion over here. So this is same VSS supply voltage, and this is the ground point. Again supply voltage and the ground point. So now you have at this point 1 you have over here and you have 0. So due to which this diode conducts, because this is now forward bias condition, have one positive, okay, and it's high means this will trigger. So this is negative, so this becomes reverse bias. So this, you can think of it as a open circuit, and you think this as a closed circuit. So now what happens, this line, since you're having one, this conducts and you have a connection from VSS back to output 1. Since this is open, so you have a connection from VS to output 1. Similarly, in this case you have 0 here and you have positive here, so this will function as an open circuit, and this will conduct now because negative to negative, so this conducts. So this is forward biased. So when it is forward biased, there is a direct connection from ground to output 1, and here there is a direct connection from VSS to output 1. So since we are connecting a motor to the terminals output 1 and output 2, so right now what is the situation? You have a motor over here and output 1 is connected to one leg of the motor and output 2 is connected to another leg of the motor. So you have a potential difference, so current flows. VSS current through using VSS, it gives you more current too, and the motor will rotate now using this motor supply voltage itself. So it rotates in one direction. Suppose if I want it to rotate in another direction, you cannot provide 1 remember 1 condition is not valid, so it will not function. So you have to provide 1 here, this line you provide 1 and this line you provide 0. So when you provide 1 here, what happens, so you have 1 at this point. So now again there is a direct connection from VSS to output 2. Output 2 is at higher potential, and when this terminal becomes 0, now again this becomes forward biased, and this is acting as an open circuit. So you have a connection from ground terminal to output 1. So one end, output 1 is at lower potential, output 2 is at higher potential. Now the motor will try to rotate in another direction. So this way, by changing the pulse, high low signal you can apply at this terminal, and you can provide the enable 2, so the motor will rotate in both directions. So this is for rotating the motor in both directions. Now this will not be fair enough for our case, because we want the speed of the motor to be modified too. So in that case, rather than sending high and low signal, what you have to do is you connect PWM signal at this line. So PWM signal at this line, how is that you're gonna connect? So one PWM channel, PWM1 channel you can connect to input 1 line, and PWM4 channel you can connect it to the second input 2 line. So when this gives you a small duty cycle, initially the duty cycle over here, it should be very small, but here make sure that this is grounded. You don't provide any pulse here, make sure that this is 0. So here you provide a small duty cycle, increase that, again increase, make it maximum. So what happens, in same direction the DC motor, initially it will rotate slowly, then all of a sudden the speed will be increased, then it will rotate with the maximum speed, okay, after a while, and it will continue doing so till it meets the duty cycle which you provide in the program. After a while, when you reverse the polarity, that is when you provide 0 here, and when you use the PWM4 channel for providing the duty cycle, then automatically the direction of the motor will be reversed. So maximum speed it will rotate, then it will halt for a while, because all of a sudden you don't send signal. After a while you can give a delay, then you can send a signal. Now slowly in another direction it will try to rotate. Initially the duty cycle will be slow, so it will rotate in anti-clockwise direction probably, if I think. Then it will increase its speed, then it will reach maximum, then again make this enable. So again send signal to PWM1 channel, and PWM4 channel make it low. So in this way, when you write the program, then continuously in both directions the DC motor will rotate, as well as the speed will also be controlled, because duty cycle is varied. Okay, so that's the program what you have. Now let's discuss the program and the content what we need to initialize on all the various registers. Now this is the program for DC motor. So you have a header file which is not included. You have to write it first, hash include lpc17xx.h. Followed by that you have a delay program, and this delay program is equivalent to the delay program which we have observed for the case PWM signal, generation of PWM signal. Okay, so no change. Then the program over here, all pins we are using, pin cell 4, TCR, MCR, MR0, MR0 and MR1 and MR4 registers are used inside the loop. Okay, so let's discuss why this is. So first what we do is, so this can be optimized, so we will ensure that directional flag is made FF. Why this is required? Because enable pin we are using, otherwise there is it is not required, but since you are using a enable pin, and that enable pin is working using a pin number P21 we are using, and it is not a PWM signal, due to which we ensure that all pins starting from P20 to P27, first 8 pins of your port 2 register, all will be used to transmit a signal from a controller to other peripherals. So all I want it to act as a output port. Okay, pins will be configured as a output port. So FF 8 pins will be used, and all are not used for receiving the signal, rather it is to send the signal from the controller. So second command is FIO pin 2. So once you make all pins high, you send high signal. This is 2 implies what? You're sending high signal at the pin P21, because when you use 10 is 2 binary, 10 is 2, P20 is 0, P21 is 1, and when you look at this block diagram, P21 is 1, and it has to be connected to enable line, and it should be always high. That is to trigger this IC. Okay, enable should be high, so due to which we make it as 2. Hope this is clear why it should be 2. If this is not written, the program will not work. This is used for your it is used as an enable pin line for your L293D driver IC. Now let's discuss why this value needs to be loaded. So pin 4 register, it has to be loaded with 41 because we are using now two PWM signals. PWM channel 1 and PWM channel 4 are used. So 41 happens to be this number. So what is this first bit is for? First, these 2 bits are used for configuring PWM. To make P20 work as PWM1, we use 01. So 01 function. So P20 will no more function as P20, rather it will function as PWM1 channel. Okay, then these 2 bits are for triggering PWM2 channel. PWM2 channel we will not be using it because it is already used. P21 is already used. Okay, PWM3 channel again we are not using, hence it is again 00. But PWM4 channel we are using. So these 2 are the bits used for triggering it. So it should be made 01. Second function for P23 pin is PWM4. So this 2 bits value should be 01 loaded with. Now when you read this collective value, it is 41, and that's the value which you need to load it onto the register pin cell 4 to make sure that 2 PWM channels are enabled. Okay, so the next value, TCR and MCR, these 2 values are similar to the one which we have seen in PWM program. So what is this? TCR is equal to 1. Can set this value to 5 or 1, both ways it works fine. So TCR1 value 1 indicates the timer control register has to increment always. So TC register has to increment always. Counter has to be incremented. For incrementing the counter, which we call it as a timer counter register, 32-bit register, so this has to be made 1. Okay, the bit 0th bit position of TCR register, it is used for incrementing the timer control register. And third bit we will not be using, that is to enable PWM1. I told you it is optional, so here we have not used. So you can use 5 value, or even 1 is also okay. The second one is MCR. Now in this MCR register already we have discussed. Now this value is also 2 here. The reason why we select 2 is the duty cycle, the whole duty cycle, we will be loading it into the register MR0, and once the TC register matches the content of MR0, we expect the content of TC register to automatically drop down to 0, due to which we have to reset the timer counter register. Value should be resetted when match occurs between the timer control register and MR0 register. When timer control register reaches 10,000, there is a matching takes place. In that case, we don't want it to increment further. It has to be loaded back with 0 value. So that is done with the help of a bit number 1 provided in MCR register. Bit 1 is for resetting your match control register. MCR0 will be resetted. Okay, that's for timer control compared with MCR0 register. Okay, so hope this is okay, and this is the duty cycle which we will be loading. You can change this value and see what happens when the program is executed. Finally, let's discuss this too. LER 1F I have said, this can be optimized. Also PCR value 1E00 we have set, this can also be optimized. So LER setting 1F implies what? So load enable register. So we will be using how many registers now? We will be using MR0 because match register MR0 needs to be loaded with new MR0 value. Since MR0 value is 1000 always, you can, even if you ignore, no problem, but let's try to use it. Let's try to load the value of new value for the match registers. All match register will take different values, new value. Whenever you are loading a new value onto the match register, you have to use LER instruction, and here we are using MR0. So this is that bit for, then this is MR1, and MR2, this can also be 0, no problem. This is MR3, no problem, but this should be 1. So the optimal value should be, this should be 1. So you can use 1 and you can use 3. Even 1 3 if you use, it will work, because we are using 3 match registers, MR0, MR1 and MR4. Finally, PCR register. PCR register is to select the PWM blocks. So we are supposed to select PWM1 and PWM4. So the ninth bit onwards from PCR register, they are used for selecting the PWM channel. So this bit over here is the ninth bit. Okay, this bit is for PWM1. Okay, and this is for PWM2. This is for PWM3, this is for PWM4, and this is for PWM5. So using this command 1E00, 5 PWM channels are enabled, but we expect only 2. So this bit is important, this bit is important, and this bit is important. So collectively you can add that value rather than 1E. This is not that optimal content. So this will ensure that all 5 PWM channels are enabled, but we don't want that. Okay, so that's what you have, which we have loaded here. Now let's look at the program. So as told, so what you have to do, this program is similar, but we are using 2 match registers, MR1 and MR4. So this is passed as the input to the terminal 2 of your L293 driver, and this will initially go to the terminal 7 of L293. So this is the input 2. So this is PWM4 and this is your PWM1. So this is connected to input 1 and this is connected to input 2. One end you have a signal, another end you don't have a signal. So it is something like 1 0. This is sending 1 0 pulse. So initially there is a duty cycle. So it is 0. So first condition, the motor will not rotate. Then slowly the duty cycle is varied. Slowly it will try to rotate in one direction, because one terminal it is always 0. Okay, and to load a new value onto the match register, we will be using LER, load enable register. So this is to load new value onto the MR0 after one iteration, after sending a duty cycle onto the line. Then to load a new value onto that register, we will be using LER. Ensure that this command is there, otherwise the program will not work. Then give a delay. So what happens? So first it is slowly, it will rotate in one direction, and duty cycle is increased, goes to maximum, and finally it will rotate with maximum speed, and finally it drops down the speed. It will halt for a while, because after this nothing is there. Then it will start rotating in another direction, because here you can see MR4 is loaded with the duty cycle, which means at the terminal input 2 you are going to receive signal, terminal 1 input 1 you are not going to receive any signal. So this is changing the direction. So now slowly in opposite direction it will start rotating, and it increases the speed. Finally it will be rotating at the maximum speed. Then it will finally halt for a while, and this process gets repeated because you had put that code inside a while loop. So this is the program for controlling the speed of a DC motor. Hope you have understood. Thanks for watching the video.